Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Grumpy Guy Show. I'm Derek McAllister.
And I'm Ryan McAllister.
So tonight, I am going to tell you this is not likely to be a long show.
No.
I have two topics, one of which is very, very short. And I had a bonus in my head. Just forgot what it is, so... That's the disadvantage of going into work, I guess, is what you'd say, but, yeah. Whatever. So, we'll see what we can do to... Damn. Freaking light. So I'm annoyed with Google Meet because I had my light set, I came on, and it was just, super bright and couldn't see anything. I mean, literally, my face was like a ghost, just really, really white. And then we start up, and it keeps getting darker and darker and darker, so I'm, fading off. Ooh. I don't know. Anyhow, it's disadvantage of not having professional equipment, but you know what? With so few views, that's not going to change,
Oh, well.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't look tonight, but last I saw, I think we were supposedly on YouTube, supposedly up to 9 views for last week's episode.
Wow.
Let me take a quick look here. Yeah, 9, and then 7 for the week before.
Hey, how about that?
Yeah, but... Then the 2 previous weeks were 2, and the week before that was 0. So,
hey, we're improving.
Yeah, it's just not likely that we're going to be switching to any kind of professional equipment anytime soon because can't justify it. I keep saying that we might end the show, but then I get people telling me, "Hey, I like your show."
Yeah.
Okay, well, pass it around, will you?
Please.
But anyhow, so let's get into our topics.
All right.
So, I like birds, especially birds of prey.
Okay.
And but I'm far from an expert. Okay.
Right.
So, when on the New York Outdoor Photo group that I'm in on Facebook, they continually take pictures of Orioles, which, hey, great. They're very bright, attractive birds.
Yeah.
And whatnot. But here's my problem. They continually call them Baltimore Orioles. Now, here's the thing, folks. A Baltimore Oriole is a baseball player.
Yeah.
Big difference between baseball player and a freaking bird.
Freaking bird. Not just any bird.
So, every time I'm scrolling through lately, it's, I got a Baltimore Oriole in the yard. No, you didn't. Seriously, you did not. And these are people that are talking, I have no idea where they are. But a majority of the group is central and northern New York. All right. So, central and northern New York, you're not going to see a Baltimore Oriole. You're going to see Orioles, the bird, but you're not going to see Baltimore Orioles, the baseball players. Because I don't care what anybody, any politician will try and tell you. There's nothing drawing people to Syracuse. I mean, if you come to Syracuse to visit, it's because you got relatives or friends here. It ain't because it's some kind of great, wonderful place to visit. It's not. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like living in this area and everything, but it's really not a place. It's not a touristy place. So, unless you're coming for waterfalls, like, the picture that I've got behind us, or behind me, not us. But, unless you're coming for that, what are you coming here for? I mean,
I don't know.
You gonna come watch the Syracuse Mets? Ooh, really?
I don't believe that.
But at any rate, and especially baseball players. I mean, unless they've been sent down, and I don't know that Syracuse actually plays anybody, but unless they've been sent down from the major leagues to rehab, or because they just aren't very good, you're not going to see a Baltimore Oriole here.
It's just not happening.
Yeah, it's just not going to happen. But at any rate, like I said, that one's a short one. That's really all I got on that. I mean, if you're gonna name birds, then at least name them correctly. But
right.
I scroll through and I see that and I just cringe and just keep scrolling because I really want to post, just put something in there saying, "Listen, folks, it's not a damn Baltimore Oriole." But I'm trying to be nice because some people are just dense. And they'll sit and argue with me.
Yeah,
and
it's because that's what people on the internet like to do.
Yeah, and that kind of leads me to something. It'll be a bonus topic.
Ooh.
So the photo editing software that I use, AC/DC, that's AC as in the letters, D as in the letter, and then SEE, in case you're interested in it. But at any rate,
not to be confused with the band.
Yeah. So at any rate, they started up this thing. It's basically like a social media platform for their product, which I think it's a great idea. The problem is you get know-it-alls in there. They have this one section that's called Ask the Developers. And I had a question for the developers. So I put it in there. I said, because I've made it pretty clear I don't like Windows.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like many. I don't like many Microsoft products. Period. But I'm forced to use Windows because, well, I like Apple products even less. And any decent, I should rephrase that, any photo editing software that I've found to meet my needs costs money, which I'm fine with, but it's only available on Windows or Mac.
Yep.
So my question to the developers was, with all of the changes that have taken place as far as programming capabilities and the ability to release something on multiple platforms with one set of code, what are the odds that you're going to consider releasing the software on Linux? And so I went back the next day, hoping to have a developer reply. Sadly, no. Which I get it, developers they're busy. I'm not expecting an instant reply. But there was somebody from the community who decided to answer.
Oh boy.
And basically he said, well, that's not going to happen. There's not enough people using it. And I almost just skipped it. But then I said, you know what? No, I got to put this moron in his place. So I pointed out to him, and I have not heard any response as of yet. I pointed out that there are more people using Linux than there are using Mac. And that does not include Chromebooks. Yeah. So Linux has a larger market share than Mac. So his point is completely and totally invalid. And not only invalid, stupid. Plain and simple. It's just dumb. I didn't ask him a question. I asked the developers a question. If they want to come back to me and say, well, we don't have any plans for it right now, okay. But to have some idiot who obviously doesn't know anything about freaking software and operating systems come in and say, oh, well, there's not enough people using it. Give me a break, buddy. You don't even know who I am. You don't know anything about my technical experience. I could be a freaking Linux developer for all I know. For all he knows. I could be a Linux developer looking to offer my services to them.
Yeah.
But, no, it's just not enough people using it.
Not enough people using it.
Dumbass.
People are stupid.
Yeah. So anyhow, that's a bonus. It's not the one that I was thinking of earlier, but yeah. I'm probably never going to remember that.
Oh, well.
As I say to people, somebody at work asked me something about, what happened last week. I had a breakfast sandwich for breakfast. And the concept is, don't ask me what I had for dinner. I had a sandwich for breakfast. People are starting to catch on that, unless I've written it down or I have some reason to remember it, I'm probably not going to remember it. Half the time, these people, they want you to remember something that is meaningless. And it's like, why would I bother? It doesn't mean anything to me or my job. So I'm not gonna remember that. I'm not paying attention unless it has to do with me and my job. I'm not paying attention. You go and yammer on all you want. I'm not gonna listen to that. But speaking of yammering on, yes, we will move on to the other topic that I actually had in the notes.
Our favorite politician.
Yes, indeed. Our favorite politician and his hush money trial. So apparently, I have missed a bunch, but he has been fined multiple times for not shutting his mouth with the gag order that has been given to him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also been fined multiple times for not shutting his trap in the courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
To the point that the judge actually looked at him and said, Mr. Trump, remember, you are Mr. Trump. You are a former president. You could be president again. Act like you should be acting as a former president and potential president. At the end of the day, I have a job to do. If you can't stop, you face jail time.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I was like, well, maybe the dummy ought to shut up. I mean, my
he won't because he doesn't know how to.
My topic in here was just shut up. If he really truly wants the best chance at things going in his favor, he needs to shut his mouth. Because even though...
The problem is, he doesn't know how to shut up.
Oh, yeah, I know that. But, here's the thing.
That's why he never will.
And his lawyers should be pointing this out. Every single time the judge has to interrupt the trial and tell him to stop talking and tell him to shut up or tell his lawyers to control their client, every single time the jury's going to remember that. And what is the jury going to remember? He's delaying me going back to work.
Mm-hmm.
Because some employers, not all, some employers will pay. They'll pay your full salary while you're going there. But some won't. But not only that, if you are somebody who works at an hourly rate and you normally get overtime, even if your employer does pay, they are not going to pay you any overtime. Which means if you're counting on that overtime as part of your salary, you're losing out. And some people, we have people where I work. We have people that are getting 20 hours of overtime every single week.
Ooh.
That's a lot of money. And to just throw that away so you can sit on a jury and listen to this guy not shut his mouth and let things proceed, that just kills me. And then, I couldn't believe it. After he came out, after the judge warned him, he actually said to the press, "Yeah, I'm willing to sacrifice just for the Constitution." And I'm like, what sacrifice for the Constitution are you doing?
Sacrificing, dumbass.
You're not following the procedures outlined in legal, in the court system. Court rules. Guess what, dummy? That's all outlined in the freaking Constitution. How that stuff proceeds. There's laws surrounding it. If you want to support the Constitution, then you ought to follow them.
Yep.
I mean, that's not that difficult.
It's not.
Oh, well. All right, enough of him. So I do remember a little bit of a bonus topic, another one. So apparently they did a roast recently of Tom Brady.
Okay.
And, they showed him sitting there, and he looked a little uncomfortable as these comedians are going nuts on him. And they're also going nuts on his ex-wife and whatnot. And then his ex-wife gets up, she posts a statement, "Oh, it's not right for them to come after me, blah, 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 blah." Well,
God.
All I could think was, so you were divorced for less than a year, and suddenly you started dating somebody serious enough to move in with them, and, they're not supposed to pick up on this? You just suddenly decided that Tom Brady wasn't the right person for you? I mean, I'm not saying that I know everything that happened, but,
No.
because honestly, I don't know much of anything that happened, and truthfully, I don't care.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't care.
It was a roast. The whole point is to pick on the guy like crazy. That's what a roast is.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
all that it is.
I'm not saying it's completely right that at the end of it he got up and he said something about her. I'm not saying that's right.
Yeah.
Because she was not the roast. She was not there being roasted. He was. Mm-hmm. But, with these comedians saying stuff about the fact that he couldn't keep the relationship with her, that's fair game. That's about him. Yeah, you're involved, dummy, but it's about him.
Yep.
So, I don't know. Just, it's... I don't know. It's another reason I'm glad I'm not some super famous celebrity. All right, I'm not even a famous celebrity. I'm not even famous. Nobody knows me. And I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot a lot of negative things that come along with being famous, and it's really not worth it, but
doesn't seem like it.
Yeah. But we're up to 9 viewers now, so we're gonna be famous. Yes.
Yep.
We're gonna have the paparazzi all over us.
Yep, that's totally how it's gonna be.
Yeah. Oh. All right, folks. I told you it'd be a real short show tonight. I'm sure you've heard that music starting up.
And that means good night.
We'll see ya.